Michigan Out of Doors Magazine's OD is brought to you by Michigan United Conservation Clubs, protecting Michigan's rights to hunt, fish, and trap for 75 years. And by Williams Gun Sight. Located in Davison, Williams Gun Sight has Mid-Michigan's largest selection of used guns with over 2,000 in stock every day. Check out the website to view inventory and prices. And by MSU Federal Credit Union, helping members achieve their dreams since 1937.
Actually, when we first bought this property, it's 17 acres, not including my parents' 5 acres. This part of it the hunting property wraps around their 2 sides of the property. And when I first bought this, there wasn't nothing really huntable in here. There was a small swale about halfway through it. That was the first swale of 3. And you didn't even go in there when we were driving deer because you could see right through it. And then the second swale wasn't much bigger, just a little bit thicker. And then there was a third swale, which is now, as you can see, quite a woods. And we just kept developing. We put a pond in, you know, developed our water sources, developed the food sources, and developed the cover. That's the 3 things that a whitetail needs. Usually we do our hinge cutting at like a 3 to 4 foot level. Deer aren't as tall as people think. You know, it's their head that makes them appear tall. Their back is only about waist high. Well, in this case, what we wanted to do is, I normally don't, like I said, do all my hinge cutting at 3 to 4 feet. But this time what I wanted to do was alter the deer's movements. So this is one of the rare times where I hinge cut this high. And the reason I did it is because the way the deer were coming in before, they would skirt past this edge over here. And my stand's over here, and I wanted to kick them over this way. So what I did is I hinge cut it, I felled some of these trees that way, so it kind of blocked off that way. But then I hinge cut that one up high, and it fell right into the middle of the trail. And now what they've done is it's actually kicked them out toward the stand. And it's given me it's only given me about 3 yards, but 3 yards can make all the difference in the world with a bow shot. And that's why we did it. That's why we cut it up so high. Okay, in this spot right here, what we wanted, it was to redirect deer travel also. They were skirting this corner hard, and my stand was over here, and it always seemed like they're just too far away. You never had a really good shot. It's too far, especially on a windy day. Anyway, so what we did is we took these trees and laid them this way, and now, as you can see, down through here, the trail goes down through here, and it's kicked them out toward my stand another. I probably gained about 7 yards here. So that worked out good. Well, along this edge, right over there is the property line. Basically, them trees right there. And what it was, I try to do this for every any landscaping project, is to build a wall so that you can't see what's going on inside the neighbors can't see what's going on in your property. And that's what I did, I had this built up before, and it was fairly thick, but then we come in here and a lot of people think of hinge cutting, it's got to be a tree. Well, it doesn't. Hinge cutting works just as well with this low brush, and it's much easier. The average Joe can do it. Anybody can do this. You know, some guys get nervous when you're falling a big tree. That's one thing. But I don't even get the chainsaw out here. All I use is my buck saw, and I just slice it so that you get a good clean break, and you just put pressure on the top and just bring it over. And it's that quick. And in one day, we had this wall refreshed up, and you can't see through there no more. You can't see through there. Well, there's actually 2 reasons why I formed the wall. One, like I just explained, so that the neighbors can't see what's going on inside the property. They can't see the deer movement. The neighbors just have no idea they just can't see the deer in there. The second reason is, like on opening day, when the shooting starts, That's a visual for them bucks. And man, they run for that wall because they know the tranquility that's left inside, you know. For the most part, the people who I landscape for, you know, they're not going in there and just whacking every deer they see. They're being very selective. You know, you give deer confidence like that and security. Yep, they see that wall on opening day after they've just been shot at, and I've literally seen them run straight for it. And it works good. That's why I build these walls. Now in this specific spot, what we had, this is the very northwest corner of my property. And when they come from the north, from the neighbor's property, there's a huge runway over there, and they come up to, there's a ditch, they cross the ditch, and they come up, and they've got a decision to make. As you've seen over there, my neighbors to the west of me is wide open. When they come up there and they see wide open versus thick, most big bucks, most deer in general, let alone the big bucks, are going to stay to your thicker stuff. So what we did is I come in here, and instead of, the wall was running straight north and south. Well, right here, when it come up to the neighbors, I actually kind of kicked it over to the west, to the northwest a little bit. And it's formed a perfect funnel in here. They've got a nice, easy way to go here, but there's lots of entanglement that they like to hide in. As we come down this trail, my stand is right up here. And I wanted them to come down this specific path when they made the decision to come onto my place that I've created and thickened up. So I hinge cut these trees this way, hinge cut those trees that way, and now this trail, as you can see, has developed, and they're headed right through here. They come across, and they come out underneath this little apple tree, and I've cleared it out in here so they've got free movement. They've got a little opening that they usually stop and do this now, and then they walk out, and right there's my stand, well within bow range. And now you can see where the trail is actually developed and they've taken off, and we've hinge cut up in there, and you can see how thick it is up in there. And we left it thick on that side for a reason, because now you can see where the trail has actually kicked them over toward my sand, and they wrap right around and continue right straight south down the wall. All right, this one here is a small maple, and we've got plenty of maple in here, so we're not worried about it, but we did want to thicken this up. And I want to drop it kind of like down in here because they've got a food plot over in this direction. So I want to kind of give it some cover before the deer get up to it. So maples do tend to lend themselves well for hinge cutting. And this one I treat just like the small brush, you know, up in the 3 to 4 foot high range. And just make the small cut. Right there, it's only about a 1/4 inch thick. And you just bring it down. And with this one, you can see most of the stuff is still attached. The reason you make the small cut is that it makes a nice, it starts a nice clean break, and it usually has a tendency to pull more down in with it. It's hard to explain, but there's more attached there, which is providing the nutrients to the tree, and this tree will probably live a couple of years before it dies. We did some hinge cutting today just so that we could demonstrate the idea, but this is late spring at this point. This year was a fast spring, as everybody knows, so the hinge cutting kind of came and went, but you want it in early spring, early to mid-spring, when the sap is still flowing through the tree. You know, the tree hasn't leafed out yet, and that sap is all still flowing. That's when you'll have a better success ratio of the tree actually living beyond falling down at that point.